How's it going, everybody? I am Joe Tobiason, Washington State aluminum photographer, and today I just want to explain how I store film both on the computer and in real life. So first things, let's start off with film in real life. I buy these notebooks every year. I buy them at Goodwill because it's the cheapest place to do them.
It was 99 cents.
I just buy one a year. It seems that that's usually a pretty reasonable amount of film for me. One thing I would definitely say when you're buying these, try to get the ones that have the straight vertical lines in here, just because that makes things a lot easier.
That was easy.
As far as saving these things goes, it's pretty simple. I buy these print file archive pages here. They're going to be linked down below. And I buy the ones that are 6 images wide, and then there's 7 rows of those. And that's because I mostly shoot 36 frame rolls of film. But with that, if I'm shooting my Leica, if I'm shooting my Olympus Infinity Mini, a lot of those cameras end up getting 37, 38, 39 photos on them. And so having that 7th row is really nice just because it gives me one extra row to show to put those bonus photos. Then I can just cut 6 across there and you're ready to go. Why 6 images, you might ask? So recently I started doing DSLR scanning, but previously when I was using a flatbed scanner, I was using a system that would only allow me to scan up to 6 images in a strip at a time, because they would all get developed and put into these sleeves, and then I would take them back out in order to put them into the thing. So 6 wide, 7 tall, and that's how I do it. And then as far as 120 goes, I buy this particular one. Again, the particular model is linked in the descriptions below. So this particular one, it does have 4 sections to store your film in, and it's designed so that you can fit 3 images of 6x7 wide. And so with that, as you're cutting them up, I then would put 2 strips of 3 6x7 images, and then 2 strips of 2 6x7 images. And then if I was shooting 6x6, that's really easy because it's just 3 images across each row. The thing is, putting them into the sleeves, that seems really obvious, right? Like, it seems almost ridiculous that I've talked about it this much.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
When it comes to actually labeling the rolls of film, that's the part that I do find to actually be super important. So across the top of each of these sleeves, there's a place that you can write down information. So going across the top, the first thing I write is the camera. And so usually I can't, because I'm putting in this little tiny space, I don't have space to like really write out like Canon ELAN 7E Mark 6 serial number, blah, blah, like, so I just kind of have like a little shorthand. It's like, this is my M6MF, so that's Mamiya 6MF. Or I'll just have LM6 or my Leica M6 or something like that. Just a little bit to make me know which camera it was, but trying to make that be nice and small. Then here in the date, I put the approximate date of when the photos were taken. Sometimes I know exactly, like if it was wedding photos or something like that I can put a specific date. Sometimes it's a range, and sometimes it's just a season because I have no idea. Then here I next put like what it is, what was happening in those kind of photos, just to give me a quick general reference of it. Right down here I put the film itself. Again, I don't usually bother if it's Portrait 400. I sometimes will just put P400 or Portrait 400. I'm not going to bother writing Kodak Portrait. Like, I'm going to try to like keep that as small as possible. And then here at the end, it has file number. I put the date of when the photos were scanned in here. And that's going to be important when I get to saving them on the computer. So let's roll over a computer here and see where everything gets stored and how these things work together. When I am scanning photos, whether I'm doing it with my Epson or now with my DSLR scanning system, either way, I use the same filing system in order to keep track of all of my images. Every year I make a large overarching folder for the year. So I'm going to look here at 2021, just because this was also 2021. And then it goes into all the different types of photos that I take over the course of the year. So corporate, engagements, family, personal, weddings, and then film. And then just because I do a lot of film and there's a lot of folders, I split them up into quarters just to make it nice and easy for myself. Then getting into here, each roll gets its own folder. And I label those starting with the date that it was scanned, the camera, and then the type of film. And the way that I do that is by using this numbering system at the beginning. And so those are the 2-1, that's the year. So it'd be 2021. And then 0120. So in this case, this was looking up here at the top, this was some photos that were taken on a Canon ELAN 7E on Camera 400 that I scanned in on January 20th, 2021. Now remember, then I go back into this book and then I write down that same date on the thing. So if I needed for some reason down the road, I wanted to rescan those photos, like, you know, these are older from early 2021. I definitely scan them on my flatbed. Now that I'm doing with the DSLR, if I wanted to rescan those photos, I could just look into here, figure out that thing. It would make it really nice and fast for me to just go back through here and just kind of flip through all the dates until I find that exact same roll and be able to go. Then inside of that thing, you're going to see here each of the individual scans for the photos. And then when they're turned into positives in Lightroom, sometimes they'll turn into interior folders just like that. Speaking of Lightroom, let's see what that looks like. So once again, I'm over here in the library module of Lightroom, and I'm looking at that exact same folder here. And that's what all these photos are. You can see it was a black and white roll. Looks like it was a lot of personal stuff, just photographing Lena and just kind of having fun, which does make sense because it was January during the pandemic. So I probably didn't have a lot of professional work at that point. Then, like I said, if I wanted to, I could take one of these photos, convert it in Negative Lab Pro. Then if I liked it and then wanted to convert it to a positive, I would be able to do that, and it would make itself into that same positives folder that would both be inside the folder system here and also over here inside of Lightroom that you can see the photos that have been converted. Let's say I do want to rescan those photos. I find that date, I go back to that folder, and then I save them directly into a thing, and I usually just make another folder inside called rescans. Or I'll put another folder with like the date and then rescans. So let's say I was going to go rescan this same folder today being January 20th, 2022, it would be 220119 because it's inside of that actual camera film stock. If I'm going to put it inside, I probably don't need to write the same information over again. I'd probably just say rescans. If for some reason you're not working on like a NAS system, which is what I'm doing here, where I have basically all of my film scans from multiple years. So if I'm going back and I'm rescanning a photo from 2018, it's really easy for me to be able to save the photos directly into the 2018 folder and access them just as such. But if you're working on a lot of different hard drives, then maybe within the quarterlies, you might want to think about just making like a rescan folder and then just have your rescans within that one so that everything stays up nice and close. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope that it helps kind of organize your brain a little bit in how to store and manage your negatives, both on the computer and in the real world. If you have any ideas that are better, if you have any thoughts on how to improve the system, I'm not against making it better, but also I'm not going to go back and redo 5 years worth of film. So, you know, sometimes it is what it is, and definitely taking time to come up with a system that works for you and then really sticking to it. It works for me. It's helped me really stay organized all these years and be able to dig up film that I needed to at just about any time that I need to. And that's really all we could ever hope for. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.